G'day beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about this 100% crit debate that is going on. There's a few different things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the YouTubers that are receiving hate because of their usage of 100% crit or the defense of 100% crit, and talk about the differences between DPS values on the different crit amounts that people tend to run, and sort of talk about why one is technically more reliable than the other, not necessarily better, as it all does come down to personal preference in the end. So we're going to talk about that. If you do go on to enjoy this video, please smash the like button, let me comment, let me know what you think. I do not mind opening up a discussion about this, but please do not be like all the people out there on the internets that are being disgusting to each other because you think 100% crit is stupid, you think 64% crit is stupid. Do not be nasty to each other. They are both technically viable as long as you're running 64% and up. Well, I personally think 68% and up, but that's my opinion. So don't be disgusting to each other. And if you are not already, guys, don't forget to subscribe as well. Alright, so first up, there are so many people giving hate to people like Sylphan and RDS Ace and Bloodthirsty Lord for the usage of 100% crit builds or the defense of 100% crit builds. They're losing subscribers. I'm a member of a Facebook group for Paragon, and there is a lot of disgusting things being said about these YouTubers, and that's not okay. Their job is to entertain. It is entertaining watching people wreck on 100% crit builds, so where is that person doing anything wrong when their aim is to entertain you? The people that do the math, like Sylphan, are not wrong, because if you look at it within context, he's trying to tell you what math actually defends as being the best DPS, which technically 100% crit chance on paper is the best DPS because it is consistent damage. Okay, so he's not wrong. I don't believe anywhere in his videos he has said that he advocates running it, or that he recommends running it, or that you should run it, or that you're an idiot if you don't run it. So I do not understand where the hate is coming from. As I said, it's sort of personal preference. It's like attack speed. There is no amount of attack speed on Murdoch that is the 100% you have to run this attack speed, because some people can't aim as well as others. And if you can't aim as well, why have a high attack speed? Might as well lower it. There are obviously arguments to be made with people like Sparrow wanting to have higher attack speed. She does have a passive that works off it, so that's a different story. So now, what I thought we would start with first is I have a very dodgy 64% crit chance build here for Wukong, okay? I am not recommending that you use this. For anyone watching right now thinking to themselves, that's a shit build. I know, okay? Don't run it. This is not a build guide. This is not a build guide. This is not me telling you to run this build. So if you think it's stupid, probably is. Okay, but if we go and test it, alright, as I said, this is 64% crit chance. We're going to just look at the damage numbers that you're able to get off of it. Now, I recommend going at least 68% chance, because at 68, you're above 66. 66 is 2 out of 3. Okay, so you at least want 2 out of 3. We'll talk about those percentage chances and odds later on. So we're at 162 power, 64% crit chance, and all these builds are going to have 60.5 attack speed. Okay, we're just going to take power off of here to add to the Spirit of the Rift Hunter when we have to. So we sit at 820 DPS. Okay, that's great, but the fact that you're only running 64% crit chance means that you're going to hit less on average. The law of averages dictates that you're going to hit less than 2 out of 3 crits. Okay, we'll get on to that, as I said, a little bit more as we continue. Okay, so now what I tend to do is, if I was going to run such a low amount, is instead of running 64, I would actually run 68, and that doesn't like me. Thanks, game, or at least thanks, app. So we're at 820 DPS, and yes, I have to keep doing this over and over again because the app actually bugs out if you just keep changing cards. Okay, so we dropped a little bit of power just to gain that extra 4% crit chance, and there's an extra 12 DPS in there. Now that's minimal. Okay, the difference between 64 to 68% as far as potential DPS on paper isn't very much, but like I said, it's the difference. It's a massive difference because you are actually giving yourself the chance to hit 2 out of 3, okay, instead of 2 out of 4. It would actually be less than that, more than that. It'd be sort of, 3 out of 5-ish. That's wrong. That is probably a wrong number, so someone's going to tell me in the comments. But yeah, it's a much better chance. And as I said, we'll go on to the law of averages, because that is my main argument on this topic. So we were at 832, I believe. Just double check that, because I'm dumb. My brain doesn't work all the time. 832. Okay, so we are done. Now we'll go on to what I actually run on Wukong. No, actually, we'll go to something that I recommend for a lot of heroes. Like my Murdoch, my Twin Blast. I run 72% crit chance. I also do the same thing on people like Yin a lot of the time, and this is 72% crit chance. So we were at 832, and now if we continue, we've dropped an extra 6 to 8 power, I can't remember what it was. Still got the same attack speed and everything, and we've gone up 10 DPS. Okay, so it's not quite as much as it was before, but we've only gone up 4%. To 72, but this is very, very reliable. 72% crit chance is over that 66% definitely, and the way you really have to look at it is that, and you can test this yourself. I've made this argument, so I'm going to try to explain it a little bit better because people just don't grasp what I'm trying to say. If you go to solo versus AI and you do a really good job and grind your way to get your crit chance and your crit bonus on, and you go in with a 64% crit chance build, and you go in with a 72% crit chance build, and you get that crit bonus, you get that crit cap, and you go and attack or prime, right, and you record it, and you watch how many times you hit him, right. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you were to hit him 25 times and kill him. It's not going to be right, but if you were to times the amount of hits that you landed by 4 to get 100, and then times the amount you crit by 4, so it was out of 100, you have not hit 64 shots. 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you that you're not hitting 64 shots, because the way that it's generally working is the game is not dictating which shots are going to crit based on what your percentage chances. It's not going to sit there and go, oh, he's up to his 99th shot out of 100 and he's only hit 63 crits, we're going to give him his 64th crit. Every time you take a shot, you're effectively rolling a 100-sided dice and hoping to hit above, you're hoping to hit from 1 to 64. Okay, you're hoping to hit that bit that you have a chance for. Okay, so if you were to have 100, you're rolling a 100-sided dice that has crit on every single side. If you're running 80, you're rolling a 100-sided dice that has 80 sides that say crit, and 20 that say no crit. Okay, so that's the way that is working. So as you can see, 842 DPS. Now, the argument that a lot of people are making is that if you actually drop the amount of power that you're dropping to get to 100% crit, that there's no way you can maintain a decent DPS because you've lost too much power. And that's not entirely true. So what we have to do here is, I believe, if it wants to let me, we have to drop 3 points and put on 8. So that's a difference of 5. So we're going to come into here, and that'll be 2, 3, 4, damn it. Actually, what we'll do is drop 2, 2, and 1. So we'll make it a 1, 1, 2. That should be right, unless I need to go back to sleep. So we're at 842, okay? 842 DPS, and now we're at 100% crit chance. We're at 100 power, that's a lot of power lost, and we're at 867 DPS. It is an actual higher DPS. You are going to hit a crit every single time. Now, yes, we've talked about that. Now, there is the argument that people are making that I hear more often than not, where they say, well, that's great, you've got 100% crit chance, it's going to take you 4 to 5 shots to kill me, but it's only going to take me 2 to 3 shots to kill you. That is completely and utterly subjective. You are basing your argument off of you actually critting. I run 72% crit chance more often than not on my carries. The amount of times that I have missed my first 3 crits, I cannot count how many times that has happened. Now let's say, for example, you have a countess running at you, okay? Odds are not in your favor, and you're going to miss the first 3 crits, okay? The 100% crit chance build may take 4 shots to 5 shots to kill countess, but it has a much better chance of actually beating that countess because it is critting, okay? He's going to have the chance to land 3 shots before she gets on him. He has to land 2 shots before he dies. Whereas you, with the 64% crit chance, if you miss your first 3 and she's on top of you, you've done, 300 damage, and, well, it'd be more than 300, but you're nowhere near killing her. You're probably still going to have to land 3 shots. Now, when you've just been altered by Countess, you're going to be lucky to land 2. You're not going to land 3 shots before she's actually killed you. So in that instance, because luck was not on your side, you have lost. Now, bear with me, okay? A lot of people will say that that is stupid because you're taking into account having really bad luck, and more often than not, you are going to hit those crits. But that's not actually what math is telling you, and that's not actually what the chance and the odds involved are telling you, okay? You are basing that argument off of the law of averages telling you that you're going to hit 64 out of 100 shots as crits. There is not enough time in the world playing Paragon in a fight to allow for the law of averages to catch up and give you those crits, okay? That is why 100% crit chance is viable. I'm not saying that it is better than 80. I'm not saying it's better than 72. I'm not saying it's better than 68, okay? I'm definitely saying that it's better than 56%, or, it wouldn't even be 56, or like 48, 52, 56, it's definitely better than them, because if you're giving yourself around a 1 in 2 shot of hitting, that's a big chance to not crit. That's not really good on a carry. The way I see a carry is that it's their job to make sure that they do damage. If you could have a build based around crit, which almost every carry should have crit on and crit chance. The only exception is Sparrow. Okay, and if you disagree, or actually Revenant probably, just running power. If you disagree with that, that is fine, that's a different topic. But they should run crit, so that means that their DPS is coming from crit. Their damage that they are tasked with dealing comes from crit. So what's the problem with making sure you always crit? Okay, like I've said, I am not advocating that this is what you should run. I'm not saying that you should change all your builds to be 100% crit chance. I'm not saying that you should ever run it at all, but it is viable, okay? It is 100% viable, okay? So to sit there and say that it's not is utterly stupid. I'm sorry if you're one of those people, but to say that it is not viable is wrong, okay? To say that it is not better for you than what you actually run is 100% correct, because that's up to you. But to tell people that they are fucking stupid, and to, you know, say I'm never watching that guy's videos again because he's a freaking idiot and he runs 100% crit, that's kind of dumb. You know, I don't actually know that. I'm not up to date with every single video in Sylphan's catalog at the moment. I've not been really watching much YouTube lately, so I don't know if he's actually running it himself. I do know that he loves him some math and he loves to work through it, and his math and my math and anyone else that does the math, their math dictates that 100% crit chance is extremely viable, okay? And that is all the whole topic of 100% crit chance ever came up from. It was about it being viable, and a bunch of YouTubers run 100% crit chance builds because it's freaking funny as shit. It's fun, you know you're critting, you know you're going to be able to kill someone, and for entertainment purposes that works. But also, if you were to take that into consideration, you always crit. You always know whether you're going to be able to kill someone, because you know how much damage you deal, you know how much health they have, how much armor they have, you know how many shots you're going to take. It's a guarantee as to whether you are going to win an engagement or not. Okay, like I said, a lot of people run lower crit chances and they expect the law of averages to be in their favor, but that's not the way things work, guys. My recommendation, my absolute written in stone recommendation, is to run at least 68% crit chance on a carry. Okay, if you're going to run attack speed, power, Sparrow, and power Pan, or just power on Revenant, two completely different topics. If you're running crit on your carry, if you're running Murdoch or Twin Blast, you know, or Seraph, you should be running at least 68% crit chance, in my opinion. I always run 72% minimum, but that's my opinion. But yes, less than 68 means that you're under 2 out of 3 chance, and that's not something that you really want to gamble on. But apart from that, guys, it is all personal preference. So I intended to make this video just to kind of hopefully help stop the hate and toxicity going out towards other YouTubers, because I love the content that these people create for the most part, and I don't think it's fair that they should be criticized for A, entertaining you, and B, giving you math that is actually correct. So I think that's pretty much everything, guys. That is my opinion. And if a dialogue is opened up in the comments, as I said, be fucking nice to each other. I'm not gonna put up with people being abusive towards each other. If you want to call me names, that is fine. Don't be like that to each other. Be excellent to each other. But that's it, guys. So like I said, if you enjoyed this video in any way, shape or form, please smash the like button. If you disagree, you can feel free to smash the dislike button, or leave me a comment and let me know which way you fall on this topic. And subscribe if you're not already, guys. I'm going to try to have a Wukong guide out tomorrow. I'm going to work very, very hard on it. Yeah, we'll move on from there. So, thank you so much for watching. I love your face, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.